You will hear me talk about intermittent fasting on my channel quite a lot, but what is it and how do you do it? In this video, I will talk about 4 popular ways you can use intermittent fasting and to find out which one is the best for you. For those of you that don't know me, hi, my name is Sam Brown and I'm a BANT registered nutritionist here in the UK. And on my channel, I will be typically talking about the science-backed information to help you reach your health and wellness goals. So the first one is my personal favourite, and that is 16-8. 16-8 just means that you fast for 16 hours of the day and you eat in an 8-hour window. This is one of the easiest ways to start intermittent fasting, as for most of that 16 hours you are actually asleep, or it also incorporates the hours before bed and the hours when you wake up. A huge benefit to the 16-8 is that it's really flexible and can fit into a lot of people's lives. So if you finish your dinner roughly about 8 o'clock, you won't eat then until noon the next day. Or if you eat your dinner at 6 p.m, then you'll eat at 10 a.m. the next day. So it's super easy to be able to fit into your life. And even if you normally eat on the earlier side, but then you go out for dinner and you're eating late, you can just adjust the time of when you eat your breakfast the next day. Because of this flexibility, it is a great way to start your intermittent fasting journey, and then maybe lead on or play around with some of the other ways to intermittent fast. And if you'd like to know more of the benefits of intermittent fasting, check out this video here where I'll go into more detail about the benefits. To maximise the benefits of any kind of intermittent fasting routine, it's really important that you make sure the foods that you are eating in your eating window are full of nutrients. So making sure that you're filling up on your protein, fats and fibre will make sure that you don't go hungry or you are craving unhealthy foods during your fasting window. So normally I would say 2 pieces of fruit in a day, and making sure that they are slightly lower on the glycemic index, which is just how sugary they are. So thinking of berries, apples, staying away from any kind of tropical fruits. Vegetables, anything that is green and leafy is always good, but try and think of a rainbow of colours. This way we get lots of antioxidants within our diet. If you're not following low carb while you are intermittent fasting, then concentrate on whole grains like oats, rice, barley, buckwheat. Buckwheat's particularly great, especially if you're following a gluten-free diet, as unlike the name, there is no wheat in it at all, and it's actually a pseudo grain. So anybody who is following a gluten-free diet can enjoy some pasta guilt-free. So method number 2 is eat, stop, eat. Now this is where you will pick 2 non-consecutive days. That's really important that you don't put the 2 fasting days together. You need a break in between. And basically you will just eat nothing for 24 hours of the day. So if you were to have your breakfast at 9 a.m, you would eat nothing else until breakfast at 9 a.m. the next day. Personally for me, if I was to do this, I don't like going to bed hungry. And so I would do that as eat at 6 p.m. at night and then go the whole day and eat at 6 p.m. at night again. That's just the way I prefer it, but each person can pick how exactly they want to do this particular plan. If it feels like it's going to be too hard to commit to 2 days a week, you can always start with 1 day a week and see how you get on. Trying to pick days where you are not going to be too distracted by constant thoughts of food. So if you work in an office where people are bringing in sweets or chocolates, cookies, whatever their thing is, and this is going to take you out of your fasting period, then don't fast on those days. Do it when you are at home. If being at home is a problem, then do it when you are at work. Whatever works for you is really important. It's also important that you don't exceed those 2 days. Sometimes when we have a weight loss as a goal, we think that if we can just add another day in where we're not eating, we will achieve our results faster. Well, actually the opposite is true. If you fast too much, you can end up slowing down your metabolic rate. And what we want to tap into here is keeping the metabolic rate up and be able to keep our fat-free mass and still be able to lose weight. So the third type of fasting that I'm going to talk about is the 24. Now, very similar to the 16-8, except that you would fast for 20 hours a day and eat in a 4-hour window. Now, you may have heard of this as the warrior diet. During the 20 hours of the day that you are fasting, some small pieces of raw vegetables and fruit are allowed, and then you would have a larger meal in the 4 hours that you are allowed to eat. Again, it's really important that you don't pick consecutive days to do your fasting. They have to be separated by days in between where you eat food. In this diet, and to be honest, in any other kind of intermittent fasting routine that you choose to do, you must stick to whole foods and healthy, very nutritious protein, fats and fiber. So my final way of using intermittent fasting is another favorite of mine, and that is the 5-2. And this is where you will eat normally on 5 days of the week and then fast on 2 days of the week. But on these 2 days, you are allowed 500 calories if you are a woman and 600 calories if you're a man. Now, you can choose how you split these calories up. You might just split them right down the middle and have 2 smaller meals, or like I do, use something like a keto coffee and then have a slightly larger meal at night and go to bed satiated. As you can tell, this is quite important to me. I also find that this is another really easy way of incorporating intermittent fasting into your life, especially those people who are just starting out on intermittent fasting and have a real deep down fear of being hungry. And this really isn't true, but it just gets you going. Whichever intermittent fasting plan you choose to use, your drinks during your fasting hours are really important. So these can be green tea, black coffee or black tea, water, and some herbal teas, not fruit teas, just herbal ones like peppermint, chamomile, fennel, etc. And the reason for this is obviously if we start picking sugary drinks, whether that be a cordial or some fizzy kind of drink like a cola or a lemonade, these tend to have a lot of sugars in them. And obviously we've spoken before about raising our blood sugar, which then releases insulin. It takes us out of a fasting state and starts to store that sugar as fat. Also, if you're going to put your efforts into intermittent fasting, there is no point in ruining your results by eating loads of junk food. Don't get me wrong, once in a blue moon is not a problem, but if you're doing it on a regular basis, you are not going to get the best results that you can. So if you've enjoyed the information in this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so that you know when I next upload a video. And I'll see you next week.